Now, speaking of new, and where is she? Oh, I'd like to bring on Sharon. We have a new theme song for the Old Pros. So Sharon and company, whoever this fella is, I don't know who he is, but you might know him. That's Mark. Okay, so take it away, Sharon and Mark.
So a few months ago, an email went out and it was referring to the club as Top. And I got an email from somebody else went, Top, what's Top? Is there a new group? The Old Pros, T-O-P. So here's our song. We're the top, the Old Pros, T-O-P. We're the top, we're the fun place to be. We're the place to learn, come and take a turn to shine. You can get right on it, learn Shakespeare sonnets or pantomime. You're the pro, you're the sound and stage hand. You're the pro, let's see just where you land. You can sew a seam or learn a scene or props. So come on and join us, yes, we are the top.
Marvelous. Now, to open the presentation of how a show is put on, I present to you Sheila Bialka.
The producer. I am representing the producer for this get-together. Now, I got to tell you right here and now, producing is the hardest job in theatre, bar none. You've got to know who to go to get things done. You've got to handle all the complaints. You've got to be in at the very beginning when they're casting. You've got to put your 2 cents in to collect a team together that will absolutely make it smooth and easy. You've got to really be on your toes. Plus, after the selection of a show, then you set a budget according to how much that show is going to cost you. And you set the ticket prices right there and then so that you know you will make money. Please God. Then you call on the team. Now, the teams are very, very important because they all have to work together and they all got their jobs to do. And if you select the right team, you shouldn't be too harried and worried and bothered producing. You should be allowed to do your own thing and get on with it. So the first member of the team will probably be the assistant director, Al Glover. Where are you?
Over.
There you are. Go ahead.
That it? You done?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, everybody. If you want to be in a show, there's a necessary evil you have to go through in order to get into the show. You got to audition. You have to come and bare your soul in front of some stranger. And that person is going to decide whether or not you get a part in their play. All right? Now, what are the things that you can do as an actor to prepare for an audition? There are some things. First thing you can do, if at all possible, get a copy of the script and read it. If you know the play ahead of time, you got a leg up on everybody else that doesn't know the play ahead of time. The second note I'll give you as an auditioning actor, dress for the part you want. I don't mean put on a costume, but dress according to the roles you're looking to play. It will help you get that role. And the last thing is you got to be prepared to provide your contact information and bring your calendar to the audition, because that could be important later on. All right? So, we had 2 people sign up for auditions in advance. Can I have my auditionees come on stage now? Yeah, that would be you.
Oh, good, thank you.
And this guy over here.
Yes.
If you'll come over and have a seat in these 2 chairs over here, that would be nice.
Thank you very much.
And we'll bring our esteemed director, David, on stage with us.
Oh,
And then we're going to conduct, go ahead and have a seat over there. Thank you. Seat. And one for you,
oh, thank you.
and one for you.
Thank you.
Now, this particular,
I forgot to bring mine.
that's okay. They
my
did
form.
fill out and bring audition forms. This particular production this play is about an author and a character in a play. The author is actually a playwright. Now, the playwright is having a little writer's block. And the character is wondering when the playwright's going to write him some lines, or her, some lines, so that they can get on with the show. All right? And so we're going to take it from the top, and I'm going to start with having Lee, if you would read author. And
Well, the great author returns.
yes. And if you, Lewis, will read character.
Do you want us to stand up?
No, it's not necessary.
Who's reading who?
Your character and she's
I'm
author.
character.
No, I
okay.
thought I was all.
I just said you're author and he's character.
I'm character.
Yes.
Well, the great author returns.
So it would seem.
I'd all but given up on you.
I told you I'd be back as soon as I could.
I thought you said you were going to the bathroom.
I did. Oh, problems.
Oh, I don't think there's any question or a particular appropriate question to ask. But since you have, no.
Oh, I didn't mean the intestinal ones. I was referring to the creative ones.
Oh. Well, the answer's still no. I simply became sidetracked by some other matter that required my attention.
Well, no, I suppose not. But if I
Okay, stop.
were,
I'm going to stop you right there, and I'm going to ask you to switch parts. That's from where you are. Don't go back.
Oh,
From right where
sorry.
you are. Just change parts right there and keep
so
going
I'm
forward.
character.
You're now character. You're now author.
No, I suppose not. But if I were wielding a sword against some poor gimp holding a ballpoint pen, I don't think I would have been particularly worried to begin with.
Look, could we forget about this about duels? There aren't going to be any. In fact, there'll be no violence of any kind in this work.
No, nor much of anything, really.
Excuse me?
Well, what have you got so far?
You.
Yeah, of whom we know nothing.
Not yet, because it's just the beginning.
And where's it going?
What?
All right, let me stop for a minute. You're doing a real good job, both of you, okay? And I see a little more frustration on your part
Okay.
and a little more anger. You're starting to get
anger,
kind of
okay.
irritated on your part.
Okay.
Because, he's frustrated because he's not being able to, he's covering the fact that he can't find anything, and you're getting upset with him. All right,
Okay,
continue.
Okay. What's my backstory on this?
Your backstory is you're a character in a play with no lines have been written for you yet.
Damn.
You have no character,
Well,
other than what the author gives you.
consider that.
Although as your own character, that gives you the freedom as your own character to come up with anything you want.
That
All
way.
right?
Thank you.
Excuse me, have you, either of you seen the script before? No.
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 Okay,
I read the whole thing through, but I couldn't make anything of it.
I can understand that. I mean, I did pick the play, and it's a work in progress, but we need to get the auditions done. So how about you continue where you left off, okay? And we'll talk about your backstory if you get the part.
Good point.
Well, really.
All right, continue for a little bit more.
Yes, of whom we know nothing. Well, you just have to. And where is it going? At the bottom of the page. Somewhere, or before.
Your character, I'm author. What? Oh, what?
Well,
Okay, I'm going to stop you
Yes?
right there. No, I'm going to stop you right there. It's a good job, both of you. I appreciate it.
Just excuse me for a second. Do we have any other people
That's
to
what I was gonna
audition?
ask,
Yeah,
Any volunteers from the audience?
just curious.
Anybody?
I'm
Somebody,
willing to go, I'm willing to
please.
go on.
All right, come
Oh,
on up.
please.
Fine.
Need one
Erwin,
more.
you want to come up also? Erwin,
Oh, please,
A
no,
play.
I want to continue with
please,
this.
you're auditioning for a
Come on
play.
up.
Erwin, come on up. I love cold reading. Okay, listen, we have your information,
Yes.
okay? And we will most likely be in touch.
Oh, thank you so much. I
Or not.
appreciate it.
Okay. I'm sorry. We have your information also. You're finished now with your audition. I made some notes on your.
I had so much more emotion, I wanted to, oh, okay.
I'm all alone.
That's Lee, am I correct?
Yes.
Lee, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Lee.
Leaghh.
Yes, okay. Oh, Vivian, I didn't know. Okay, here we go. You both have each have a script?
No.
Right? You have to give them a script, please.
Here's your script. Okay. Again, author and character. Author, character. He's the author, you're the character.
I'm a character. I am a character.
You have the first line.
Head raised on repose. Okay. Well, the great author returns.
So it would seem.
I'd all but given up on you.
I told you I'd be back as soon as I could.
I thought you said you were going to the bathroom.
I did. Problems?
I think that's any of your concern or a particularly appropriate question to ask. But since you have, no.
I didn't mean intestinal ones. I was referring to the creative variety.
I'm going to stop you here. I'm going to stop you right here because I have to ask a question of you, sir. How are you at memorizing lines? All right, that's a good thing. That was, yeah. I know. That's,
Your mic.
you need to bring the mic a little closer to your mouth.
Oh, okay. Where am I?
Continue.
All right. Oh, well, the answer is still no. Simply because sidetracked by some other matters that required my attention.
Get him to switch, please. Switch the part.
Well, that was mine.
Switch the parts. Switch the parts.
Oh, okay.
Keep going. Don't go back.
I
No, just keep going to page 2, please. Okay?
go to page 2. And
No,
switch.
I suppose not, but if I were wielding a sword against some poor gimp holding a ballpoint pen,
Bottom of the page.
I don't think I was.
All the way at the bottom. I'm talking to him. All the way.
Bottom of the page?
Go ahead.
The bottom of the first page.
Well, we are, but he started on the bottom of the first page. Go ahead. Continue.
Oh, well, the answer is still no. Simply because I became sidetracked by some other matters that required my attention.
No, I suppose not, but if I were wielding a sword against some poor gimp holding a ballpoint pen, I don't think I'd have been particularly worried to begin with.
Look, can we just forget about the duels? There aren't any. There aren't going to be any. In fact, there'll be no violence of any kind in this work.
No, nor much of anything, really.
Excuse me?
Thank
Well,
you.
what have you got so far?
Sorry to interrupt, but thank you. You filled out an audition form. We have all the information we need from you. Really appreciate your auditioning. Thank you, and we will be in touch. I was wondering if we had any others to audition.
Anybody else?
Wondering. Help us out. Great. Yes, young lady, come on up, please. I hope you have as much enthusiasm if you get the part. That would be wonderful. We do need one more. Can we get one more?
How about in the back?
Could you come back and do it? Of course you could come back and do it. We are a compassionate club. Please come back.
You
Come
think
back.
You think
Come
I
on,
need...
come back, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you.
Really?
Yes, would you give her a script back, please?
Script for you and turn to page 3.
Thank you. We're
My
on
name's
page 3.
Lee.
Hi, Carol.
Oh,
I want you to take it, and Lee, you're going to be author, and your name is? Ma'am?
Carol.
Okay, Carol, you'll be character.
Starting at the top?
No, starting on page 3 with characters line, so's your play.
so what part am I playing?
You're the author.
Oh, good.
So's your play.
Where's that line? Oh, thank you. Look, I told you, it's just the beginning. It hasn't found its rhythm yet.
Well, the play may not have, but you certainly seem to have hit on your stride.
Meaning what?
Meaning the constant up and down from this table every 5 minutes.
Stop.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, we are going to put on a, oh my goodness. Oh, wait a minute. You two got the part.
It's because we're mic'd, you know?
That would be the main reason. Okay, you got the part. Now we're going to fast forward to the director, okay? And I know there are many of you out there who would like to audition. You will probably have another opportunity at some point to audition when we do another play, okay? We've done so many plays here in Laguna Woods. I mean, we've done tragedies, comedies, and there will be some more comedies, but right now we're dealing with tragedy.
Dealing with tragedy.
Okay, would you give them their scripts, please? Because they have been cast in the show, okay? And I am now the director, okay? Sat in on the auditions, have my vision for what this show is going to look like, okay?
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Okay. My job as director is to mount the best possible show that the old pros can do, okay? And remember, we are a team, okay? And we pride ourselves on working together, okay? I just have a few things I'd like to share with you about the directing before we get started, okay? You have been chosen because you fit the part, okay? Not just that you can memorize, but you physically fit the part. And we're looking for a chemistry among the cast, a chemistry among the actors, okay? And I know you have definite chemistry, okay? I can just see it. And this vision that I have for the show is going to work perfectly with you two in the various roles, okay? First of all, I'd like to share a couple of things before we get started with our table read, is that I'd like you, first of all, to be a good listener. Okay, can you do that? Okay, be a good listener. That's it. Oh, I like that. I hope that wasn't just because of your hearing aid. And share, please. Okay, please share with me. Okay, you have indicated on your audition form that you have the ability to memorize. Okay, and this is a rather short play, so there's not a lot of work there. May I offer you some suggestions for learning your lines?
Oh, please.
Okay? You can record your lines on your phone. Okay? You can possibly do that. Okay? One of the things that's always worked for me as not only a director but an actor is to highlight your parts. Okay? I always highlighted my cues in pink and my script in yellow, so I knew. Okay?
I mean, what's the pink one for?
Or blue. Pink for me is for my cues, yellow for my lines. However, this is your script, your part. If you care to switch them, that's perfectly all right with me. I don't even want to look in your script, except maybe later when I see what notes you've possibly taken. Okay? Want to highlight? You can recite your lines to someone. Find someone perhaps in your family. You can also work with your fellow actors. You two have lines together. So I suggest on your own you get together and do that. Okay? Please make sure that you're available for rehearsals. You were given a rehearsal schedule once you were cast in this. Okay? And I'd like you to be able and willing to take notes, director's notes, with a pencil. Why wouldn't you use a pen? Yes.
I have to erase a bunch.
Yes, you would have to erase a bunch because things change for sure. Okay? A couple other things I'd like you to keep in mind before we have our table read. And that is, please, 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 and this has become a little problem with the old pros and other theater groups, that actors all of a sudden become directors. Okay? Trying to avoid that as much as possible. If you have a suggestion, as I said, you're part of the team, please come to me and offer your suggestion, and I'll share that with the other actor. Okay?
Or not.
Understood. Great. Okay? And I'd also like you to keep in mind that if you come with me for suggestions about another character, please come to me with suggestions about your own part. Okay? Mr. Deering, feel free to call me Mr. Deering. You may have an idea for your own part. Okay? Come and share that with me, and I'm willing to discuss it. Okay? My mind and my door are always open. Okay? My responsibility as a director is to block this and to put this show into its best possible light. Okay? Do you know the difference between upstage and downstage? Okay? Up, down, left and right. Left, point to left, please. Left and right, stage right. Okay? Great. It's always to the actors. Okay? Not the audience. All right. So, do you have any questions for me before we have our first table read?
What's the backstory?
I haven't even finished the damn play yet, so, just wait and we'll give you your backstory. My backstory is I'm in recovery, okay? But making progress as we are on the show.
I'm a pain in your what?
I'm sorry?
That was my hearing aid problem.
I see.
Yes.
Okay. Well, when I'm giving instructions, you may want to stand a little closer. Okay? Very good. Do you have any questions for me before we begin?
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh. Is there any dancing in the part?
Let's see. Yes, we will write some dancing into this, for sure. Just like we did in the last show. As you recall, we hadn't considered dancing, but we had a wonderful character in our show who was a wonderful tap dancer, and we were able to include her in the show, okay? And we were very grateful for her being there. It's polite to applaud. Even though she thumbed her nose at me as she made her exit. Yes, there will be some dancing, preferably some tap dancing again. Any other questions? Any questions? Okay, let's start with a table read. We're going to read through the whole script, okay? 2 characters, start from the top. You have been cast as the character. You have been cast as the author, of course, as you already know. So here we go. Character from the top.
Well, well, the great author returns.
So it would seem.
I'd all but given up on you.
I told you I'd be back just as soon as I could.
I thought you said you were going to the bathroom.
I did. Oh, problems? Oh, I did not realize that. Wasn't there supposed to be another thing for her in there?
Oh, problems.
Okay. I don't think that's any of your concern or a particularly appropriate question to ask, but since you have, no.
Well, I didn't mean intestinal ones. I was referring to the creative variety.
Oh. Well,
Okay, thank you. We will continue our table read at some time in the future. We're going to move on with this. Have you ever had buyer's remorse? Well, I've just discovered director's casting remorse. Oh well, we'll deal with what we deal with, and we'll bring the best out of these two gems. Thank you. Let's move on. Thank you.
What's next?
I'm caught.
Oh,
That's on your plate.
what? Am I up?
Coming.
Kenny.
Oh, that's Al's job.
Kenny, come on up. One of the things about this, and we don't do a lot of this right here, right now, but as we said, we're going to have some shows in Clubhouse 5 this year, so we actually have some sets to build this year. So we're going to have Kenny come up and talk to us about set design and set construction.
There were two things that were said that David said about the director. The envision, as far as set construction and design, first thing you have to do is find out what the director is envisioning, how he sees the production. You know, some directors are real general. There's others that are real specific. I know there's several directors that I've worked with here that, and it's all been enjoyable. And then he also said you had to be ready for changes. And there's been times when we've gotten to Tech Week and 2 days before the performance, we ought to change this, put this door over here, put this bed over here. And that has happened. So, but fortunately, you know, and it takes, and you need to know, you know, how much money you have, the budget as far as materials needed to build the props and this and that. We've done some fabulous productions and some fabulous sets. And it takes a team. There's several people that help build these things, to help paint, help put it together, and then help tear it down. So it's been fun. And it's, you know, challenging at times, but that's what makes it fun and makes it interesting. So
I'll put in one note about set design. It only has to look good from the front, right?
yes. And, you know, we have several people that are good. You know, I'll put the set together, but then there's like Noreen and different people that come in and say, oh, we need some flowers here, this picture here, you know, so and this all goes back to what the director envisions. So, and, you know, you don't argue with the director.
And be on the lookout, okay, in your emails and stuff, because if we need some sets to be built, we're going to put the notice out, and we're going to call for y'all to come in and help with that, all right? So I hope you're ready for that. Thank you, Ken. Yeah, that's Just checking where we are. I'm going to talk about lights and sound. And I'm going to talk about lighting first because I like lighting. Now, we don't do a lot of that in here, but at Clubhouse 5, we're going to do some more lighting. But I'm going to give you the basic, here's the theory of everything, the TOE for stage lighting, okay? It's 4 words, all right? 45 degrees, complementary colors. Now, what does that mean? That means if you want adequate lighting on the stage, your light should be coming from 45 degrees, not from the front, not from the side, 45 degrees this way. It should also be 45 degrees on this plane. So 45 and 45. The complementary colors means one side should be a complementary cool color and the other side should be a complementary warm color. Sky blue and pale yellow is a great combination if you're doing an outdoor scene, because that's what the sky will look like. It will be, part of it will be blue, part of it will be yellow from the sun. Now, the other thing you need to know about lighting is there's math involved. When you're putting light sets together, you got to know the voltages, you got to know how many instruments you can plug into a dimmer, how many a circuit, how many circuits you can plug into a dimmer, how many dimmers you can, all that stuff. But don't worry about that. That's lighting in a nutshell. Now, let's turn to sound, because sound is something that the old pros excels at. The sound system we have really makes our shows successful. And you know why? Anybody got a clue why? You can hear them. Somebody, she said in a nutshell, this sound system that we have, our audience needs extra help hearing, can't hear it. Now, I'm going to just go real quick. This is going to be real quick, show you how the sound gets from my mouth to the speakers that you're listening to. And so just follow along. It won't take about a minute or two, all right? First, it goes into my mouth, and that's connected to a transmitter, okay, which I keep in my pocket. Some people hook it on their belt. The transmitter transmits the signal that I'm transmitting over to here to this bank of receivers, okay? And each of these receivers is set up on a different frequency for one of our handheld or head mics, I guess. All right? Now on the back of the set, well, right here, in fact, you can see all these plugs. There are plugs that come from the back of the receivers that go into this device, and this device then goes into another plug. This is the mixer. And then the cord comes from the mixer all the way back there. Everybody say hi to Joe. Everybody knows Joe, right? Do I need to introduce Joe to anybody? Okay. And then we also have the cord running to the speakers that we have set up here. All right? Now, I'm doing something that you really shouldn't do. I'm standing right in front of the speaker. That's how good this sound system is. Those of you who are part of the Village String Band, tell me what would happen if I did that. All right? So, see? Didn't do that, all right? Sorry about that. All right. So that's basically lighting and sound. You sound good because we have a really good sound system, all right? You look good because of the lights that are put on you, all right? Now, one of the good things about going to 6:30 here instead of 3, look at those windows. 6:30, it's going to be, we're going to have more effective lighting in here than we've had before, all right? Are there any questions about lighting or sound? I covered it so well, you're all experts now, right? All right. Who's next? Carol, come on up and talk about some stuff. What?
Okay, Mr. Director, now you've chosen this play and you have the characters. I haven't had a chance to read it. Now, how do you want these people to look? What is the feeling? Is it a period piece? Is it contemporary? Is it sci-fi? What do you envision this to be?
Yes. It's a period piece, okay?
Oh, which era?
I'm going to set this in the 1920s.
1920s. Oh, that's wonderful. Flapper. Are they characters male or female?
One male, one female.
Oh, I can get a flapper outfit. That'll be so much fun. I know we have some in the costume closet. There's some really great ones, lots of fringe. It's going to look terrific.
And part of my vision, I was looking through books for costumes for the 20s, the flapper for sure.
Yes.
Okay, but I was a little confused about the male character. I'm not sure how I want the male character. Is this, do you think we want to do Panama hats, white suits? What would you think?
Oh,
I know
that's
you haven't
lovely.
seen
Now,
the play.
is he a gangster or is he a good guy?
No, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. Well, the white suits, definitely. That says he's a hero.
And what's your vision for how you want these two characters' costumes to work together? One light, one dark, neutral colors,
Is it
pastels? What do you think?
Is it a romance?
It's a romance, of course.
Well, then complimentary, of course. He's in white. Oh, let's put her in pink. It's going to be around February anyway, and hearts and pink. It just feels right. That should be the look.
Okay.
All right. And then obviously then the makeup should just dovetail in with all of that. We have the staunch hero. He's going to have a ruddy complexion and stalwart, and she's just going to be glamorous. Is she a blonde or a brunette? Oh, don't worry. I've got plenty of wigs. We can take care of that, whichever way you see it. Although, curls and blonde wig. Oh, that would be darling. And a little cupid bow like Clara Bow's mouth. Oh, I just love it. That's going to be so exciting. It'll be so pretty. Ooh.
Can you do me a favor, please?
Of course, Mr. Director.
Could you maybe take me over to the costume room and maybe show me some things that we have? Maybe even grab a male model and a female model so I can see how these look. I don't want it done with the characters exactly because I don't want to spoil it for them. But I would like to see maybe some options that we have.
Well, you know our costume closet. It's right off the dressing room backstage at the PAC. And we have tons of costumes in there. Not only that, we have makeup too. Some of it needs to be thrown out at this point, but I'll take care of that. And there's I think we have some feather boas in there too. And not too many shoes, but we might have a couple of shoes for the guys.
Here's what I'd like you to understand, okay? You and I need to work together on this and share the same vision. And please don't be offended if I say something that I really don't like that costume, even though you may have picked it out. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then you understand how this is gonna work together. Yay! Anything else you'd like to add? You look a little grumpy after I made that last comment.
Well, I was just thinking if we don't have the right outfit there, we might have to go on the internet and spend some money.
That's okay. Spending money's okay.
Oh, what's the budget?
Spending money's okay. The budget for costumes is $35. Is that about right for you?
Well, there's always the Salvation Army.
Okay, and Goodwill. Okay, thank you. This is going to be a great working arrangement.
Ooh, I've
Welcome
got to
to the
get going
team.
right now. Ooh.
Thank you. May we please invite a stage manager? Yay.
You out of here.
Stage manager,
You
believe me.
out of here. It's my show now. Do you guys remember seeing one TV shows where the guy is holding the plates and he's all over the stage trying to keep them on the poles? Oh, you're all too young. But this is what a stage manager's job is. keeping it all together. Having worked with the director during the blocking of the play and the putting together of all the beautiful costumes and lights and sound, I now come in and I have to coordinate all of that to make sure that it looks like the director wanted it to look. Now, the director's out of it, except I know he's going to be in the audience every performance, watching the show, and giving me notes on how he really wanted it to look. But thank God we have the expert stage manager who I know I'm not going to ask him to speak, but Joe Selikoff can stand in that almost booth behind the stage. He's given cues to the booth. He's telling the lighting guys, he's telling the sound guys exactly what to do. He knows exactly where everybody should be on the stage at one point. And he'll tell us if we're in the wrong place. And if it all works the way the director envisioned it, and the stage manager can put it together, I can then plan a cast party. And that's the fun time. Okay.
One very important role in putting a show together is somebody to do props. Sometimes 2 or 3 people to do props. Now, these people have to be good scavengers. They've got to go out and scavenge to look for certain items that are needed and are necessary in the plot. So you've got to have somebody who's very reliable, who's liable, to go out and bring you stuff and you don't want it, they've got to take it back and get the money back. Because we're working on a budget, don't forget. But then you appeal to the cast. If you say, look, we need a 3-legged stool, has anyone got one? Chances are, if they haven't got it, their neighbour's got it, and we can borrow it. So props are extremely, extremely important. And when a show is up and running, the prop table must not be touched, except to pick up your prop, take it on stage, do what you have to do, bring it off stage and have the prop person put it back in its place. If it isn't in its place, what are you going to do? Wander around backstage? So I'm looking for the stick. I'm looking for the stick. Where is it? It's got to be there. So props are extremely important. Another... the mic? What's wrong with it? Oh, okay. Another very important... appeal that I have to make is we need publicity. No show can go on and no club can exist without publicity. Now, you say to people publicity and they say, oh, I can't do that. Well, it's because they've never tried. Publicity isn't that difficult. You've just got to give the information that you can pass on to the right people. And you get the information from whoever is in charge of that. Like the monthly meeting. You get the information on the monthly meeting and you pass it on to the Globe, where most people see it, and you pass it on to whoever sends out the emails. They can add on to it. That is publicity. You don't have to draw or be clever. You'll find somebody who can do graphic arts, or you go online. You'd be amazed at the stuff that's online that you can just steal for posters and stuff. You've always got somebody in the club who can do that. So publicity, please think about it, somebody, everybody, and step forward, up to the plate, because we need publicity. Okay, so hopefully I think we've given you a pretty good idea of what it takes to put on a show, and it's very complicated, but if you just join us and do a little part. Just do a prop. Look for one prop. Something like that. Just get your toe in the water. Once you've joined and enjoyed the backstage camaraderie that we have, you will be very happy that you have joined. Now you're a real full member, a working member. And of course, the best part of my job as producer is the cast party. Now, the cast party, they're usually sensational. Because everybody talks about what they did, what they didn't do, what happened, what went wrong, what didn't go wrong, and you relive the whole show again. So that's great fun. That's the frosting on the cake. That's the reward for all your hard work. So please feel free to join us sometime, anytime, volunteer. Go to whoever the producer is or the director of the show and say, look, I'd like to get involved. What can I do? Believe me, they will grab you by the scruff of your neck and you'll be thrown in at the deep end. Trust me, okay? So I think that's about all I have to say, except once upon a holiday, we had so many problems with sickness, of course, and other things happened. We never thought it would come off. I was astounded at how good it was. It was a truly good show. It moved. It didn't stop. Everybody was on their mark. I was so pleased. I'd only been to one rehearsal way at the beginning, so I really didn't know what to expect. I just heard all these things that were happening and people were sick and this one dropped out. Please, please, please watch the movie and see how good it was. So, David, are we going to put the movie on now? No? Oh, we're not. Well, you can see it on, what? Is it Sunday night? Sunday night at, yeah. Channel 6 at 8 o'clock. We're running it for the whole month. So if you haven't seen it, it's a delight. Just watch it. It just is different. It's a bit different from the average Christmas show. And I think we did a spectacular job. Anyway, thank you for coming this afternoon. Fill up on wine before you leave, and drive carefully. Okay.
Thank you all for coming. Remember that next month's meeting will be on a Wednesday, February 8th at 6:30. So thank you again, and we hope to see you all then. And bring a friend. Bring a friend. Thank you. Good night, all.